Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to Friday. It is Friday, the 13th of October. Hope your week went well this week with everything going on across the whole world. We have banks reporting today, several of them coming in, along with some health insurance and retail. So we'll talk about that and more here in just a few seconds. Before we do that, though, let's not forget that there are so many things that we cannot control within this world, but you can take control of your portfolio by controlling the amount of risk you have. You need to know what that risk is, and you need to know what that risk should be based on your circumstances. And that's exactly why we developed Core Retirement Design. Give us a call, 863-382-0037. Hey, with that, we'll be on the air here in just a minute.
105.7 Light FM, playing all your Light favorites. There's Taylor Swift. It's Doug Reese sitting in for Morning Dave here on your Friday morning, 8:40 now, and that time of the morning where we head out and check in with our good friend, Phillip Statler from Statler Financial Services, and get an update on what's going on with our financial markets. Hey, Phillip, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Doug. Hey, doing well today. It is the end of the week. And we've already had some numbers report in terms of economics for the last month, and we have one more today. But before we do that, let's look at kind of what happened in the markets yesterday, because it was not a good day really on Wall Street. We had kind of some red ink across the board. As we look at the S&P 500, down about little over 0.6%, like $27. The NASDAQ down 0.6 as well, $85, and the Dow Jones Industrial 30 down 0.5%, $173. So everything in kind of solid red territory. Hoping we can maybe do some changing today and have us end the week on a positive note. We'll kind of have to wait to see. Right now, it's a mixed bag. The overall, we've talked about the CPI and the PPI. Well, today we have the import prices. So import prices came in, and they actually came in better than expected. They were expected to increase by about 0.5%. Overall, import prices increased about 0.1%. So good news there. The other thing that came in was the import prices minus fuel, because fuel can be a big deal. It can swing and fluctuate quite a bit. And we've already seen, oil prices and gas prices going up. So if you take that out, it was down 0.2%. So good news there. And they actually even revised last month down from minus 0.1% to a minus 0.2%. So some good news. Import prices heading down, which helps us here in the United States as we buy those imported goods. So some good news there. Like we've been promoting all week, this is banking day, right? We got a lot of banks that have reported this Friday. And let's start off with a big name, J.P. Morgan Chase. They are considered the largest bank in the country. And for the third quarter, they came in at $4.33 a share on about $40.7 billion of revenue. They beat on both fronts. Revenue, they beat by about $1 billion, which is incredible. And on earnings, JP Morgan, I got to go to a different screen today. They don't have everything in one place. JP Morgan came in at that $4.33 of earnings. They were expected to come in like $3.89. So they kind of beat on both ends of the spectrum, and they're trading up today about 0.9%. Right now, that stock would trade at $147.13 a share right now. So that was kind of starting off the banking week. We've got Wells Fargo also reported, and they came in and beat on revenue, beat on earnings as well. A good quarter for them. They posted about $500 million beat on revenue. Revenue came in, earnings came in at $1.48 a share versus $1.39 that was expected. So some good news for them as well. The other big bank we had was Citigroup. It's kind of the top three here coming in. The only one I think we didn't see was Bank of America. They must report Monday or Tuesday. Citigroup came in and they had a good third quarter as well, beat revenue expectations by not quite $1 billion. And then on the earnings front, Citi came in with a beat as well. They're expected to earn about $1.26 a share. They came in at $1.52 a share. So across the board, it looks like the banking industry is off to a good start. A little bit of a fly in the ointment maybe is PNC Financial, and PNC Financial actually had kind of a mixed bag. They missed on revenue, not by much, by about 1/10 of a billion, and then they beat on earnings, came in at $3.60 a share versus $3.11 that was expected. So they were doing well as well. They're up about 0.6% this morning. The another big name when it comes to financials is BlackRock. BlackRock missed their third quarter revenue forecast by just a little bit, but they killed it on earnings. They came in at $10.91 a share versus $8.26 expected. And but it's got them trading down today, Doug. They're down almost 2%. Not a cheap stock either. They're trading at $623.50 a share right now. So hitting down. So I think that's all the financials I saw hitting across the board. I do have one other stock that's non-financial, but it's health related, and that's United Healthcare, which is the largest health insurer in the country. And they saw their revenue increase as well as their earnings. So they beat across the boards. They posted like $6.56 of earnings versus $6.32 expected. Revenue, $92.4 billion. That was $1 billion more than expected. So they were doing well. They're trading up about 1.25% this morning. So across the board, everything was looking good for the most part, except for BlackRock. And then let's see what that's doing to interest rates. So yesterday, interest rates had ticked back up as far as the yield. After yesterday, we saw a little slide in the yield. The yield had gotten back up close to 5% on the 30 years, back down to 4.75% right now. So, but the 2-year is still back over 5 at 5.02% yield on the 2-year Treasury. So that's something to keep in mind when we look at interest rates. Oil's getting, we'll talk about that in a minute, but oil's getting killed this morning, going up substantially. I'm expecting gas prices to go up, Doug, what I'm seeing in oil prices. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much covers everything that we've got there. So let's see kind of what we're going to start out the morning at as we head into the day. Like I said earlier, it is a little bit of a mixed bag. The Dow's getting a big bump a lot because of the banks and because of United Healthcare is a Dow component. It's trading up about 1/3 this morning. The S&P 500 is up 0.2. NASDAQ 100 is trading to the slight red. It's down $1 right now, not much at all. So that's where we are on the stock indexes. On the commodity side, we've got silver making a huge jump this morning, up 3.8, almost 3.9% to $22.81 an ounce. Gold's making a huge jump today as well. I'm thinking maybe it's because of the Middle East stuff, but it's up 2.4% this morning, up to $1,928 an ounce. It finally crossed over that 1,900. And then crude oil getting, it's just skyrocketing this morning, up 4.75% to $86.86 a barrel, which to me means gas prices will be following shortly, folks. So keep that in mind this weekend as you fill up your gas tank. As we look at the other markets, Asia trading solidly in the red. We've got the Nikkei down 0.5%. The Hang Seng's down 2.3%. The Shanghai is down 0.6% this morning. Looking at Europe, it's solidly in the red as well. as we head into the morning. We haven't talked about crypto lately, but crypto has been declining. It's up a tad this morning. Bitcoin is at 26,871. It was earlier this week up above 27,000. So that's bouncing back up a little bit this morning. So, hey, folks, listen, the one thing that you can control in this whole crazy world we live in is the amount of risk you have in your portfolio. You need to know what that risk is, and you need to know what that risk should be based on your current circumstances. And that's exactly why we developed the Core Retirement Design. Give us a call, 863-382-0037 to schedule your core retirement analysis. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk 730, 95.3 FM.
All right, Phillip, appreciate it. Thanks for the update. I hope you have a great weekend. Dave will be back on Monday, same time. So
all right,
we will
have a great weekend. Good talking to you again.
All right, yeah, great talking to you. That's Phillip Statler from Statler Financial Services here on Light FM. You can't.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us today. Have a great weekend. Join us again tomorrow. Monday. And until then, have a great weekend. Bye now.